What roles have you played in Monroe Berry? So
Assistant principal, director, assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction, and then superintendent. See?
wow, I'm absolutely blown away. I'm stunned. That is wow.
You know what though, I have to say that it's been really good for me as a sitting superintendent, because before that obviously I was a teacher.
Yeah.
And before that I was a teacher and also a dean of students in another district. So I've been in education for a long time, but I was a dean of students, and I have to say that all of those positions give me a really good perspective on what it's like to be a teacher, a dean, an assistant principal, all those positions, and it really helps me lead.
Yeah.
So I think it's been really positive for me.
No, it definitely, I could see that, because jumping into a superintendent position is definitely not easy. So the fact that you have kind of worked your way up, you can, when you work with your other colleagues, you're like, okay, I know where you're coming from, I know where you're coming from, I've been there, I've done that.
You sound like a superintendent.
I think I learned from the best. Who was your hero and why?
That's an easy answer. My hero is my mom. So my mom came to this country when she was 17 years old, and she came from Puerto Rico. And one of the things that she didn't have was an education. So she had about a 5th grade education. And when she came to the United States, she worked really hard to learn English, because we speak Spanish in Puerto Rico. And she got married young. She was about 18 years old, had children. And what she taught me was about being resilient and that the power of women, because we're so complex, right? We're strong, yet there's a soft side to us. And that she always taught me that, you need to really make sure that you're okay in order to help others. But that it was important to be a strong woman, to be a strong mother, to be a strong wife, to be a strong sister, all of those things that made me who I am today. So I would say that she's my role model.
That's really inspiring. Wow, that's really inspiring.
Yeah.
Name 3 characteristics that describe yourself.
Resilient, because unfortunately my parents were divorced when I was young, and so I was raised by a single mom. So being resilient, not always having everything that I wanted to have, which was also an impetus for me to become who I am today, right? When you're not raised with everything being given to you, you learn to struggle for it, but the struggle's okay. So being resilient, passionate. I'm very passionate about the work that I do here. People can say that they've seen me, I can be very strong, the same way if I have to fire someone, because that's part of my job, but I can also cry with someone, right? So I have great passion. And then I want to say visionary, but I would have to say the last couple of years I feel like I've not been a visionary. I've been well, look at her, she's
I feel like you're very much a visionary.
Well, I say that it's a characteristic, but I think that through the pandemic it's been really hard to stay focused on that piece of what I want to be, right? Because when you're working through so many unknowns, you really have to be focused in the here and now, and that's not really necessarily my role, is the here and now. It's more about being the visionary, but I would say visionary.
Well, I think those are 3 characteristics that you can find in any strong, independent woman. I think you're an exemplary woman.
You are.
As you are the president of the New York State Association for Latino Administrators and Superintendent, could you describe what your group's mission is and what the role you play in that is?
So I am the first female president of the organization, so that was a big thing. And the mission of the organization is really to support the students we serve by making sure that we support and encourage people of color to join the ranks of education. So part of the work that I do as the president of my salas is that I also sit on the AASA. I am a mentor. So I mentor young women who are interested in becoming superintendent, and they're women from all over the United States.
Wow.
And so what we do is I meet with them regularly, and we talk about the challenges about going into administration. We talk about the challenges of being a superintendent. And so that's the work that we've been doing. We look to support people so that they can do a better job in education because they serve our children. So that is really the goal of Naisalas. It is work that I am very proud of, and again, we are there to make sure that we give the right amount of support and encouragement to people who want to go into education, because we really do believe that people in education have to be diverse, just like the students we serve.
Yeah, exactly. I could not agree more. What do you want people to remember about you and your impact?
That's a good question. I think people I hope people remember that everything I did was geared towards students first. And that has always been my mantra. How do we support our students first? And that students and the community felt like every decision I made was really based on the best interests of my students. And then of course my staff and the people that work here, but students first.
Well, I think it's evident that you put students first. It's everything, the way the district comes together and the way the students feel, the way the parents feel, the way the teachers feel, just the environment. Everything is going swell. So what advice would you give to your past self, your younger self, and what would you give to the young women at home that could be watching this, some advice?
The advice I would give my past self is be patient. I've mellowed out a bit, but I've always been like, it has to get done right now, this second. Like, I don't have time to waste. And what I've learned is that you need to be patient and deliberate and intentional in the work that you want to accomplish. And sometimes that doesn't happen right away. It doesn't mean it's not going to happen, but you have to be intentional and you have to be patient. What I would say to young women is be proud of who you are, number one. Like, be proud of your upbringing, whether it's like for myself, I grew up poor, with parents who didn't have formal education. Be proud of that, because that will make you into the person that you're supposed to be. And never lose sight of who you are, and never doubt yourself. You know, be resilient, and surround yourself around people who think like you. I think that's really important for young people to know, is surround yourself around people who are going to uplift you, who are going to make sure that you're okay, and people who are going to make you the better version of yourself.
So first, rapid fire question. Favorite food?
My favorite food is the food my mother cooked, which is rice and beans and chicken. Black beans preferably, because look at her, she's loving it. Because it for me, when I eat it, it reminds me of my upbringing, and it's comfort food. So that's my comfort food.
Favorite color?
Red.
Red.
Because it's
red.
powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
I agree. Dream vacation?
Oh, that's a hard one. I've been to a lot of places. I've been very blessed. I think I'd like to go to Ireland.
Ooh, what would you do there?
I would just love to tour Ireland, see all of the castles that they have,
the scenery
and see the history. I was in my previous life, I was a social studies teacher, so I would just love to look at the history. I've never been there, and I would really love to visit.
Favorite song?
Oh, that's a real.
Or a song you really enjoy? Maybe an artist that you really like.
I like Rihanna.
I love Rihanna too.
I like her because she's such a strong singer, and when I listen to her in the car, she empowers me sometimes. Like when I'm coming into work and I'm thinking about, oh, how is the day gonna be? I just listen to her and it's like, you know what? I'm pretty bad. I can do this.
Talk about favorite Disney princess.
Maleficent.
Maleficent. Ooh. I like
Is
that.
she Disney?
She is. Doesn't she have the horns?
She does.
Yeah. Angelina Jolie.
But you know what I like about her? People are gonna be like, what? I think what I like about her is that there's a soft side to her, and there has to be this really tough exterior, and so there is a kindness to her.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't necessarily show, and she's got these two horns that are coming out of her head. So I think because it shows the complexity of people, right?
Exactly.
And that we are all complex. We're not just, singular in our thoughts.
And final question, favorite sport?
Oh, baseball.
Baseball. Yankees, Mets?
Mets.
Mets? Okay. I like the Mets too.
Yes, baseball because That's a very, I grew up watching baseball. You know, I grew up in the Bronx and we all watch baseball, and yes, it's kind of surprising that I grew up in the Bronx and I'm not a Yankee fan, but I was always a Met fan, and when they won the World Series back in 1960, I don't want to say, I remember being so excited. I don't think they've ever won it since then, but I like to root for the underdog.
Wow. Well, there you have it, ladies and gents. Interview concluded.
What is your favorite color?
Yellow, brown, gray. Yes.
Why'd you pick those colors?
Yellow is bright, vibrant,
Okay.
like a smiley face emoji. You know, brown. It's a very nice color. I like to wear brown. I think that's why I chose brown. And gray, I also like to wear gray.
You also like to wear. Dream vacation.
Dream vacay. Switzerland, because my friend who goes to a different school, they had a school trip to Switzerland, and after seeing the pictures, I've always wanted to go, but now like I think I need to go to Switzerland. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It was
I've never been there.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Favorite song?
Favorite song. I think I'm gonna have to do favorite artist, because favorite song is
It's hard, right?
It's really hard. But artists that I really like, I've been listening to a tribe called Quest a lot lately.
What are some of their songs?
They're like a 90s like R&B, like
I love R&B. Your favorite Disney princess?
probably Princess Jasmine or Princess Tiana, just because Princess Tiana looks like me, and Princess Jasmine and Aladdin are just an unstoppable power couple, and I think they're endgame.
Oh,
Favorite
sport. I think I might know what
Favorite
you
sport. Track and field. I am a track and field athlete, but I also really like baseball as well.
You do?
So yeah.
That you would give to yourself as a freshman. You're a junior now. What would you tell your freshman self?
Freshman self. I think everything happens for a reason, you know? Like some days I'd be like, ugh, I'm not getting any progress. Like, why did this happen? Why did that happen? But I think every lesson, every hardship that I've gone through has been a character development moment and a lesson that I can take out of everything that's happened to me. And yeah, just trust the process. Everything's gonna fall into place if I just stay true to myself.
That's very true. And what would you say to the incoming ninth graders?
Incoming ninth graders, if a senior tells you to give them lunch money, just do it. No, I'm just kidding. Do not. I would tell freshmen.
And she said it with such a I was like, what? What? Wait a minute, what?
I would tell incoming freshmen that freshman year is a good year to start building habits. Like as a freshman, if you're already like, oh, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do my homework tonight, like, no, you gotta start just really get into good habits. That's academic wise. Socially, I would say high school is such a good time to make new friends, join new clubs, do sports, like actually really try to put yourself out there. Like it might be hard at first, but it's definitely gonna pay off. Like you're gonna make so many friends, and yeah, those are my advice for freshmen.
That's great advice.
Thank
You're
you.
a very wise young woman.
Thank you.
So I hope that when you're done deciding what it is you want to do in this world, that you come back and visit, and you inspire and empower other women and other people, just other people to do the work that you're doing, because we need more inspiration, right? This is good. So I'm so happy that you interviewed me, but I'm so happy that I got to speak with you and meet you and really have this conversation. I hear wonderful things about you all the time.
Thank you.
And your parents have done a wonderful job. So tell them that I said thank you.
Okay.